the COMESA EU Horticulture Connect, there is someone who said it is cheaper and easier to move produce from the COMESA region, any country, pick any country, to the EU region, as opposed to moving it from, say, Kenya to Tanzania or DRC. So connectivity is very important. Thank you very much for your thoughts there. Now we move on to the next guest, and I would like to now invite the COMESA Secretary General, who is Chileshe Mpunda Kapwepwe. Karibu sana, and let's give her a round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies. Your Excellency, Professor Kithure Kindiki, Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya and our Chief Guest, Excellency Dr. Hassan Kibeya, Chairperson of COMESA Council of Ministers from Burundi, Honorable Lee Kinyanjui, Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Investment, Trade and Industry of Kenya, Honorable Ministers present, Mr. James Chamwaza, President of CBC, the Dean of Ambassadors and members of the diplomatic corps, kindly allow me to ride on established protocols. Good morning. Before I start my speech, I always tell the president of TDB that every time he stands up to talk about the bank and its achievements, I always feel like a very proud parent at a graduation. It shows the foresight of the forefathers who established COMESA, that they did not only establish COMESA, but they went further to establish institutions which would play in the market and support the mandate of COMESA. So like TDB, we have CBC, which is a private sector arm, which is also bringing you together today. So COMESA is very diverse and indeed plays directly into the market. Your Excellency, Chief Guest, I would like to say karibu. Good morning, and it's a real honor and privilege for me to address you today at the 18th COMESA Business Forum. This important public-private dialogue brings together COMESA Business Council and the wider business community, policymakers, COMESA institutions, and partners to jointly deliberate and chart innovative pathways to sustainable growth and enhanced collaboration across the region. I extend my special thanks to you, Your Excellency, for gracing this occasion, and for the government of Kenya for hosting this important series of meetings that we are holding over the next few days. These Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the theme for this 18th COMESA Business Forum is leveraging digitalization to deepen regional value chains for sustainable and inclusive growth. Our discussions will explore how digitalization can transform business practices, boost productivity, connect markets, and create opportunities for all, particularly marginalized groups, including MSMEs, women, and youth. The forum aims to generate actionable recommendations for the COMESA Business Declaration 2025, which will be presented to our heads of state and government at the summit being held here in Nairobi on the 9th of October. We anticipate concrete proposals on digital infrastructure, investment, regulatory harmonization frameworks, innovative financing mechanism for SMEs, and strategic partners that will accelerate our digital transformation agenda. In addition, just listening to the representative from the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, a number of pertinent issues have already been raised, which I feel should be formed part of that declaration, to bring to the attention to the heads of state the number of challenges and bottlenecks being experienced by the private sector, and which should be addressed at that level. Because sometimes, as we all know, it's only political will that will remove some of these constraints. Our forum discussions will focus on 4 critical areas: agricultural productivity, digital trade and investment promotion, and business mobility. Distinguished delegates, COMESA has developed a robust suite of digital tools that are revolutionizing regional trade and integration. We have consistently supported integrated border management systems, smart border technologies, including the regional customs guarantee, the digital yellow card system, which ensures efficient issuance and verification across 13 countries, while our regional payment and settlement system, REPS, process is increasing transaction values across its member states. Most recently, COMESA launched the Electronic Certificate of Origin program, which was launched in Eswatini, Malawi, Zambia, and very recently, only a few days ago, launched right here in Kenya. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, building on our established digital foundation, COMESA continues strengthening private sector development through strategic partnership with the CBC and targeted initiatives that address critical regional needs. Our regional food balance sheet initiative, implemented in partnership with key stakeholders and supported by AGRA, now provides reliable, near real-time data across 10 countries, addressing critical information gaps for policy and investment decisions. We are advancing business mobility through our COMESA Business Visa Scheme, leveraging on ICT capabilities, while strengthening the pharmaceutical sector through the African Development Bank partnership focused on local manufacturing capacity. The Digital Finance Inclusion Project has reached a crucial development phase, with the COMESA Clearinghouse playing an extended role in establishing the digital retail payment platform for MSMEs. Ladies and gentlemen, running alongside our high-level dialogue, we are hosting 2 interconnected events that exemplify our commitment to practical business outcomes. The COMESA Multi-Sectoral Trade Exhibition from 7 to 9 October showcases flagship regional products and services and innovations across multiple sectors, serving as a dynamic marketplace for promoting business linkages and investment partnerships. Complementing this, the COMESA EU Horticulture Connect seminar, which was held on yesterday, brought together European buyers from Netherlands, Germany, France, and Italy with COMESA horticultural producers, creating direct pathways for our agriculture exporters to access international markets. This strategic pairing of the exhibition and buyer-supplier platform demonstrates how we are translating our policy actions into tangible economic opportunities that strengthen our integration with global value chains. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, I wish to commend the efforts of the COMESA institutions in supporting the hosting of this forum: CBC, the Trade Development Bank, the COMESA Court of Justice, the Alliance of Commodity Trade in Eastern and Southern Africa, ACTESA, COMESA Reinsurance Company, ZEPRI, Africa Trade and Investment Development Insurance Agency, ATIDI, COMESA Federation of Women in Business, Africa Leather and Leather Products Institute, Yellow Card, COMESA Clearinghouse, COMESA Monetary Institute, COMESA Competition Commission, and the COMESA Regional Investment Agency, RIA, which collaboration continues to amplify the length and depth of COMESA's collective impact. The COMESA Business Forum provides a crucial platform for aligning public and private sector strategies, sharing successful and digital agriculture models, and creating the enabling environment for our social adaptation of transformative technologies across the region. Public-private dialogue has always been at the center of our strategies and inclusive approaches. Last year, we successfully hosted the 17th COMESA Business Forum in Bujumbura, and outcomes were presented to the 23rd Summit of the Heads of State. We are looking forward to a similar presentation of this declaration, of this business forum, which shall be presented on Thursday to the summit. This will really reinforce the matter that we cannot move forward on policy alone. We do need the participation and engagement of the private sector. I wish you all a fruitful deliberations, and I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Secretary General for COMESA, Her Excellency Chilese Mpundu Kapwepwe. Ladies and gentlemen, time now to welcome the Cabinet Secretary in the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry from Kenya, Honorable Lee Kenyanjui, to address us. Let's put our hands together for the Minister.
Thank you. Thank you. Allow me to take this opportunity first to acknowledge Your Excellency, the Deputy President, Professor Kithure Kindiki, for honoring our invite and also participating in this very important session. We acknowledge that the business forum is a critical component of the COMESA, because as government, we may have the best policies, but at the end of the day, we need the business people and the associations to make the connections and to make the region work. So we really want to salute you for making time to open this session. The Secretary General of COMESA, Chileshe Kapwepwe, the Chairperson of the Council of Ministers, Dr. Hassan Kibea, development partners who are present here, distinguished representatives from the private sector, and the Chairperson of the Council of Business, Mr. James Chimwanza, upon whom I want to borrow all the protocols that you observed. I think his was the most extensive one. And thank you very much for being here. So it is our profound honor first to hold this summit, and also to confirm that it comes at a time when both trade and investments are facing quite some turbulence. And I say this in recognition of the fact that when you look at global trade today, there are so many uncertainties, from wars across other parts of the world to tariffs that have made international trade more unpredictable and sometimes unstable. And one of the areas that have been cited as possible solutions for stabilizing that is actually regional trade. At COMESA, we're at about 14% intra-COMESA trade, a number which we acknowledge is way below our potential. And I think our conversations today must revolve around what we must do to make it possible for goods from Tanzania to come to Kenya, of Kenya to Zambia. And I think that conversation must not only be academic. We must go to the real issues that continue to hamper trade between ourselves. Not too long ago, His Excellency Yoweri Museveni, the President of Uganda, visited Kenya. And I think in their conversation with our President, the issue of the time it takes to cross the border from Kenya to Uganda was raised. The following week we visited there, and talking to the truck drivers and the business people, on average it would take like 4 to 5 hours on a good day, but at times even a day before you can cross. So if you have to cross 4 borders and you have to spend 4 or 5 hours on each, then if you look at the total loss, then it makes our region very uncompetitive. So among the things we must talk is how to make it seamless for our goods to move from Zambia to Kenya, and the unnecessary stops that you have created must be abolished. On the movement of people, again, there can be no business when our people are not talking. There is no value of talking about trade when I cannot go to Zambia with ease, check the goods, agree with the banks and the people, and come back. So again, the movement of people across the entire region, I think, becomes very important. I am happy to note that Kenya has abolished visas for African countries. So if you want to visit Kenya, you do not need to make any elaborate plans for you to come here. You need a product from Mombasa, from Nakuru, and anywhere, you just need to board the next plane, and we will be able to receive you, and you can have, things going through. So I think as a person in charge of trade, I really want to emphasize on the issue of movement of people and goods, because when these two are not there, it doesn't matter what else we are going to input. And I think much must be done to open those areas. I also note that the theme of this year is leveraging on digitization to deepen regional value chains for sustainable and inclusive growth. Again here, we are happy as Kenya that we have made significant inroads in the area of digital penetration. Almost every major town in Kenya, we have been able to connect with fiber, which means a farmer can be able to produce a product, put it online, put a photo, put everything, and that way we can be able to trade. And because trade is now becoming more digital than physical, then the issue of ensuring that we have digital connection across the whole country, and by extension also in other parts of the COMESA, becomes important. And I also want to add that beyond the infrastructure are the people. And I'm happy to note that most of our universities also, we have incorporated the issue of digital skills so that our children can be able to trade and work in the world that is coming tomorrow. On the area of financial transactions, you know that Kenya is the home of M-Pesa, and M-Pesa is actually now going regional in Tanzania, Uganda, and most of these other countries. And I think this is really the area we need to work together, that we don't all need to duplicate services. So if you have a solution that's already working in Uganda or any other country, maybe that solution can be adopted. And since M-Pesa is working even globally, I see M-Pesa as a solution for many of the things that you're trying to do. And I think some of these issues, if they're replicated at the continental level, we can all work towards making it a better place for all of us. Allow me also to quickly mention on the issue of the horticultural event we had yesterday. Kenya is a major player in the area of horticulture and flower, and we had very live conversations yesterday. Still, a lot needs to be done. We have talked about post-harvest losses. We have talked about cold storage. So if you're moving a perishable commodity across the border and you're spending 5 hours as no cold facility, then the post-harvest becomes a major issue. And I think one of the areas that we must really invest in is the infrastructure in cold storage, both in our airports, in our ports, in all our big towns, so that when you're thinking of any of these commodities that fall within the perishable category, you have networks that can allow us to work across that entire space. Lastly, is also to note that within the COMESA region, we have nearly 600 million people. If you look at that number and you compare with other continents or subcontinents, you will realize it's bigger than even the entire US market. But the problem is we probably have not seen the full potential that lies with that kind of a market. And as we improve trade, also allow me to say that areas like tourism, if you look at what percentage of tourists within the COMESA say visit Kenya, the number is in the single digits. Yet, we will all plan our journeys, maybe on holiday sometimes, to capitals far away from where we are, in places of temperatures sometimes -10, over 40, and leave a Mombasa beach that is an attraction to the whole world. Leave a Masai Mara that is a world heritage site. So, and I can say that of Victoria Falls in Zambia, and I think all those places that we can do. So I think it's time for Africa